This tutorial is about creating a hole, and because this software is created to mimic or complement manufacturing, there are a number of different things you can do in order that would be the same as in a manufacturing situation. A hole is one of those. So whenever you're going to create a round hole in an object, generally speaking, you would be using the hole command. All right. So first, what you need to do is be able to identify where you're going to place your hole. I have chosen a view, but I can from the sketch. So if there's an actual sketch that I've placed there from the 2D, I could use a sketch. I can do linear, which is easy so long as you have two edges to work from. Concentric would be aligning the hole that you're going to create with the center point of another circle or arc. Okay, or if there's a particular point that you'd like to use to create the circle. So for today, though, we're going to use linear. We've done this before in class, but let's just go over it real quick. So I'm using my face and identify a particular location in the face. Start to replace it. And that's a large hole for the small size, so I'm going to make that 0.125 instead. I was just able to adjust the size by redefining the diameter of that hole over here. Okay, so I've chosen the face, but now I need to be able to align it to exactly where I want it between two edges. So I'm going to choose reference 1, choose the top edge. I'm going to say it's going to go down 0.25 from the top edge. So I can now change that to 0.25, and I'm just going to input that. And now I'm going to identify a second reference point. I'm going to do the right hand side here. And so I'm going to align that. I'm going to make that also 0.25. Okay. It's not centered. Fine for the situation, not a big deal. Idea is just to use it. Okay, so now I've got this hole aligned where I'd like it. Now I also have some other options. So besides the placement options, we also have the option of types of preparation. First, right now, as you can see here, is drilled. We can also do a counterbore, which is going to give us a large hole. Generally be used in manufacturing for placement of a bolt head. Okay, so it's recessed and below, so that it's flush with the surface. Okay, so depending on what size we need on that, I can adjust that to wherever I want. And then I'm also going to give that a certain distance down. So if we look at this from the side, you can see that this is all the way down, 1/4 of an inch. That would probably be more like 0.125. So let's look at that. Notice how I was able to just shift the distance of the counterbore. So how far down the larger hole on the top goes down. Okay. And then I also have, again, the diameter of the hole that would accommodate some bolt, screw, what have you. Okay, shaft, whatever it would be for the manufacturing job you're working on. We also have spot face, which is going to be much smaller, and again, we would want it to be 0.75 or 2.25. We could adjust that down. Okay, that's going to make it a little smaller. All right. You can also give that a depth and dimension here. The spot face would be for something more like a screw head, and then we also have the countersink. Okay, that gives us an angle. And that would be specific to a screw head, where or specific screw head that would have this type of angled portion of the top. All right. And again, I can adjust the angle. I can adjust the overall outside diameter. I can also adjust the size of the screw itself, the hole that would accommodate a certain screw size. Okay. Now this is a lot, I understand. For a hole here, so that's the preparation, and then for the finishing. So generally right now we just have a simple hole. There are no threads. But say we needed to use, we had a particular thread size. Okay. We have here. Okay, I just jumped over one. I'll go right back to that one. So for this tapped hole, we when you tap something out, you are going to put certain grooves in there based on a specific thread type. So down here you see threads, thread type, ANSI unified screw thread. There's a whole number of different types. ANSI is the American National Standard Index for unified screws. Okay. There's also metric, and so forth. Usually we'll be using this unified screw thread, but we also will have some information on that while we go into it. So then we have different sizes for that particular, for screws. So go from a number 1 to a number 12, and they get bigger, 1/4 inch, okay, and so on and so forth, 1/2 inch here, 3/4, and all the sizes in between. Okay. So say we did a 1/4 inch, 0.25. Okay, so we get something like that. The tapped hole, class 2B, 3B, 1B. So make an adjustment. It's 2. Alright, and we also have a designation. So the class will be given to you prior to this as well. Whenever you're going to be having to do it, that information will be given. And then we also have different types. So within this 1/4 inch, we have 1/4 inch 20, 24, 27, 28, so on and so forth. These are going to be the number of threads per inch. So it would be 1/4 inch, the outside diameter, and then you've got 20 per inch, 24 per inch, and you can see there's coarse, fine, so on and so forth. So we have different designations we can use here, and again, this is information that will be given to you if you're asked to use this, specific for threads. And you'll also notice that as I change these, there'll be some dimensions that will change above. So if I was to do 1/4 inch to 1/2, things are gonna be adjusted based on whatever it is that I'm looking to use. Okay. So my hole could then have this information in it. All right. So if I clicked apply, I'd have to adjust my countersink to something different. Okay, different size outside of. Has to be larger than what I was dealing with, so 0.3. Oops, there's two decimal places. I only want one. So I could create something like this. And if you notice, at the top is countersunk. Then if you look down inside, you can see the threads that would be applied to that space. Okay. But again, I can go back in here, and we all know that if we double-click over here on our model browser, so say I want to adjust my hole, okay, I can double-click on hole and come back in here, and I can do something different. So the other options we have are, okay, that's a taper tapped hole. So the taper would go all the way, would be set up, the tap would be set up based on this taper, or we could also do clearance hole. And again, you be told what you need to do and given more information, all the information you need to identify what you'd be using. Okay. In the allowance fit, this is just a little bit different. I know this is getting a little bit long, but as far as the clearance hole here, okay, it's going to be based on a certain thread size, but it's going to give a little more distance, so that the screw or bolt, in this case, you'd be dealing with a bolt, would fit down through without touching the side. So you wouldn't have, and the fastening would be from the top down, and then ultimately you'd have a bolt on the other end that would that you'd be connecting into. So the bolt wouldn't actually be getting, the grooves wouldn't be into this portion, but you'd be allowing space for the bolt to go through. Okay, so that's really a lot of the different aspects to creating a hole. And again, as we're doing this, we're going to be trying to copy the manufacturing methodology. So whenever you're making a circular hole in something, especially if you need to have, it needs to have threads, or it's got any type of preparation, such as a counter bore, spot face, or countersink, you're going to want to use you will need to use the hole command. Go ahead and mess around with it, and good luck. Thank you.